Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Wednesday Night Mayhem right here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Gold MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock. Unfortunately, guys, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Dee Dee Woodson, will not be in the house tonight due to some stuff that was beyond her control, home front stuff. But don't worry, she'll be fine. She'll be back with us on Friday night for the preview of NXT, for the preview of Survivor Series, and more importantly, the go home show to SmackDown, as it will be from the home of the Survivor Series from Chicago, Illinois, at the Allstate Arena. Yes, Anthony Flair has said it many times before. The one of the IWC capitals of the world. So, with that said, as you guys know, we always do it. AEW, and then we hit you with NXT, and we're definitely going to save NXT tonight because, my goodness, what a show it was. And many people around the water coolers are saying that NXT beat AEW again. We'll get into that right now. So, AEW tonight from Indianapolis, Indiana, at the Indiana Farmers Coliseum, a small venue, I think it was. So we started it off with a one-on-one match. Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks versus Ray Phoenix of the Lucha Bros. And when it was all said and done, Phoenix wins the match, 12 minutes and 20 seconds. Look, good, solid opener. Great match to start the AEW. I really liked how the body of work went down. At the end of the day, solid match. Very good fight. I could give this about 3 stars. I think this is three and a quarter stars. Solid opener. Very good back and forth. Highly competitive, entertaining fight. I liked it. So, Anthony Florio, it's all yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF, you'd expect a certain spectacular pace and level of innovation and athleticism from this, and they deliver start to finish. It's amazing what a hot crowd can do for a match like this. If they had that match after Friday Night SmackDown with Purple Ropes, I think even they could have won over the crowd with that. So 3.25 to 3.5 stars, I think, is the correct rating for this match. One of the fights of the night for sure. And by the way, spoiler alert, MF, NXT wipes the floor with AEW here tonight. So that's not a prediction. That is a spoiler. So that's all there is to say on that. So 3.25, 3.5. But this was one of the few bright spots of this show tonight. I'll give them that. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's get your thoughts on this opening matchup of AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was a good match to start off AEW Dynamite. Yeah, I'll give it about 3.25 to 3.5 as well. I mean, certainly a good way to open up AEW. Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to say. You guys pretty much touched on it. So, Fletch, let's move on.
All right, guys, sorry about that. So then the next thing that we had was a women's match, as it was Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She went up against Hiraku Sada, and when it was all said and done, it was Sada with a big victory, knocking off Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, as she hit the Falcon Arrow. Then a running knee strike, basically a little bit of you could say that was a little bit of a shade of a Kinshasa or the Bombaye for all you New Japan Pro Wrestling fans. So Anthony Florio, Sada wins the match in 9 minutes and 15 seconds over Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
I got to call, you want the words of Jesse the Body Ventura, I got to call this one an upset, I got to consider this somewhat of an upset here. Because of the body of work of Britt Baker, maybe one day the future Mrs. Adam Cole, but for those scoring at home. But anywho, it's Hikaru Shida. That's the young lady's name, MF. Hikaru Shida. So just wanted to clear that up. Solid 3 stars. There wasn't really much to it. I mean, but then again, these women's matches, I've been on this week after week after week after week. These women's matches don't hold a candle to those from NXT, WWE, what have you. So, but it was fine for what it was. There was some good and some bad in this. So I'm not going to go too far into this. There is one thing, though. They did say that these were the top 2 ranked women's title contenders. They said that Britt Baker was number 1 in the women's division and Hikaru Shida was number 2. And number 2 just beat number 1. I smell a championship committee moment here, MF. I really do. I think Hikaru Shida just might have put herself in line to maybe be the next challenger for Riho in the AEW Women's Championship. So that's just my thought. So I'm going to give it a solid 3 for the effort. But as I always say about these women's matches, it could be better. It's a work in progress. So nothing more to say. Bullock, I smell a championship committee moment here. I think Shida just put herself in line for a future title shot.
I agree. I think she definitely earned herself a future AEW women's title shot somewhere down the line. So, you know what? I'll give it about 3.25. Just because of the upset. I don't think any of us saw it coming. I thought Baker would have gotten the win, but no. This definitely came as a surprise. So yeah. So 3 to 3.25. I thought it was a good match. Yeah. I still think some of these women's matches have been good. They still could use a little seasoning somewhere down the line. So I don't have a problem with some of these women's matches. Some of them could be could be better, but I think they've been okay. Not really anything special. So Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this about 3 stars. This was a good match, solid fight, no doubt about it. The women are trying. They are trying, but I kind of have to say I agree that with Anthony Florio, unfortunately, they're not the strongest division in women's wrestling right now. I'll even go as far to say even some of the Women of Honor from ROH, Women of Honor has been really good. Even Impact Wrestling has some good women on their roster. Even with with everything going on. So it is a little tough. It is definitely an interesting situation. But at the end of the day, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, 3 stars, good match. Nothing more to say. All right. So next up we had was the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royale. Now, I guess what's gonna happen is, the winners of the match, basically the final 2 that is left in the ring, will face off against each other for what they call the Diamond Dozen Ring. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. We don't know what this thing's gonna be, but the winners, or the men who survived to go on to fight next week for the Diamond Dozen Ring, is MJF and Adam Hangman Page. So they advance. They will fight each other next week. 10 minutes and 2 seconds, the time of the match. And Michael Bullock, you lead off.
All right. Well, So what are we talking about? I mean, this is
We're
it's
talking
hard
about
to
the
talk.
battle roy. It's basically the battle royale.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna give it about. I mean, this is a tough one for me. I'll give it about maybe 3 for the effort. I mean, but yeah, I definitely cannot wait to see what happens with Adam, Hangman Page, and MJF to see who does it, especially after some of the antics. But I'll tell you what, I mean, some of the people don't want MJF to win, especially after some of the antics he's done, especially with Cody. So yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see. Uh, but yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours, and I guess we could say people don't want MJF to win this one.
Oh no! Oh no!
If he wins, I'll tell you what, Fletch. If he wins that, we're gonna. I'm gonna. I think all of us are gonna have a tough time dealing with that piece of garbage.
Piece of garbage. I'm just gonna call him. I'm just gonna call it the way I see it. This is a TV 14 show. He's a piece of shit. That guy is. That's what that is. So first off,
Screw
yeah,
that piece of shit.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it because I'm like Ferreira. You know, I don't got no filter. I'm not a PC guy. I'm not a PG guy. I'm gonna give my 2 cents on that. So when it comes to NXT, I'll be all PG. When it's AEW, you're not gonna know what I'm gonna say about that. But the way I see it, it goes like this: MJF is basically he's the biggest D-bag in all of professional wrestling. But that's what gets him over, is because of the fact that he is a total jerk, an a-hole, a D-bag, whatever you want to say about this guy, that's what he is. But he is 22, 23 years old. He is, believe it or not, the future of professional wrestling. And this guy is light years ahead of being the biggest villain in all of professional wrestling. There's no doubt about it. Everybody would love to see this guy get his ass kicked. No doubt about it in my mind. And the thing is Adam Hangman Page going to be the guy? I don't know. Hangman hasn't really proven himself to be a spotlight guy. I mean, yeah, he got the win over Pac once, but in a lot of these big moments, a lot of these big fights, Hangman Page has lost. When he went to the AEW World Title match, when he fought against Jericho, lost. When he fought against Pac, the first time around, I think it was in a pay-per-view, lost. Now he's fighting against MJF for the right to win this Diamond Dozen ring, which we don't even know what the significance of that ring is for. Could that be as a ticket for a future title shot at the AEW World Title and Chris Jericho? If that's the case, then I think Heyman Page could be the next in line and get another shot at this. But you don't really know for sure. There's really nothing more to say. As far as this Battle Royale goes, I'm not as high on it as Bullock was. I'm sorry, Bullock. I'm going to take it a tad down. This was about 2.5 stars. I mean, yeah, the Battle Royal was fine, but this was kind of a weird thing. 2 men surviving at the end? Just to fight next week? Head scratcher, to say the very least. Florio, go.
I'm with MF on this. 2.5 stars. I wasn't crazy about the retired Billy Gunn towering over almost everyone in the ring, overpowering them, and being the center of attention in a nostalgia fest. It also didn't make sense to have Adam Hangman Page positioned as a babyface late in the match opposite of MJF to be the one to eliminate the popular nostalgia act in Billy Gunn. The crowd booed and didn't embrace him as he rallied to win as a result. So, something we had to think about at that. This kind of reminded me almost a little bit of the old Battle Bowl in the old WCW, and when they would battle for the Battle Bowl ring and whatnot. So, and I'm with MF on this. I mean, you had the last two. Why couldn't they have just had the final match right then and there? But obviously, next Wednesday, it's the night before Thanksgiving, and they want to give us a feast. That's all there is to say on that. They want to give us a feast of a show. Now, I didn't watch much of this show tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of my attention was focused on NXT, and rightfully so. But when it comes to next week, I might be leaning towards the other way on this one. But it will just depend on how NXT counters. So that's all I can say on that. But for right now, it's a 2.5-star match. I fully agree with MF on this one. Sorry, Bullock, with all due respect. So really nothing more to say. Let's just move on, MF.
All right, and then, all right, AEW, prepare to get thrown into the underground. Next up we had was Chris Jericho, interrupted by SCU, and all right, I think, look, I get it, what they're trying to do. I don't mind that, Jericho was upset over what happened to him last week after getting pinned by Scorpio Sky. But I don't know. I just didn't like the segment. I did not like this segment. And I'm a big Jericho mark. I'm a big mark of SCU. But, I mean, I don't know. I kind of felt very lukewarm about this segment. And I know quite a few people I know who are good friends of mine was very lukewarm about this segment too. I mean, yeah, it was fine, but I don't know. I kind of felt like they tried to do this reverse psychology bit and I didn't like it. I mean, Scorpio Sky did fine on the mic, and I don't know. I kind of felt like there's been times where AEW has delivered on promos, and then there's times where they've swung and missed. This one, I felt was a swing and a miss by a mile. Did not like this. Maybe I'm being a little harsh, but I don't give a damn. I thought this was crap. Florio, go.
Yeah, you are being a little harsh, MF. I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, the segment was okay. But here's the thing. Chris Jericho. MJF is the future most over heel in the business. Jericho right now is that guy right now. Chris Jericho continues doing the best work of his career as the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Scorpio Sky was really good there too, and the bit where SCU tricked Jericho into giving them what they wanted with transparent reverse psychology was great. And I called it last week. I said championship committee moment when Scorpio Sky got that surprise fall on Jericho for the title, and well, not for the title, but getting the win over Jericho in that match last week, and lo and behold, Scorpio Sky now has an opportunity of a lifetime next Wednesday night as he will challenge Chris Jericho for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. So amazing. And then all hell breaks loose afterward. Marco Stunt came out, the Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus had a little stare down with Hager. Whoa. There's a Haas fight right there. So, and we're gonna address Luchasaurus in just a moment, but nonetheless, I'm not gonna poo-poo all over it like MF did. I mean, like I said, Jericho's doing the best work of his career right now. And, this segment wasn't as bad as MF thought it was. So that's all I can say on that. So, Bullock, where do you side in this?
I'm sorry. I'm siding with Fletch on this one. I did not like this segment at all. This was, I mean, it could have been a whole hell of a lot better, but all this that we saw, I mean, it did not sit well with me at all. As a matter of fact, Fletch, you said this was TV 14, right? Am I right on that?
He did.
I try. I just be very careful with your language. That's I'm not asking for F-bombs, but if you want to
I'm
go,
not throwing any F-bombs. But as far as I'm gonna say that this was a piece of shit of a segment. I mean,
I'll go with that.
I didn't like it. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people, I mean, me and Fletch would take a dump on this because, I mean, this is your AEW World Champion. And this is what we get? No. No, 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 no.
The reverse psychology basically made Jericho look like a jackass, Florio. Like a complete and utter doofus.
Exactly. It made him look like a doofus. I mean, if Florio wants to stick with what he says, fine, but I'm with MF on this one. I didn't like it. Like I said, I would have taken a dump all over this segment. Well, I just did. So, you know what? If anybody wants to come at me on this, fine, whatever. But you know what? I don't give a damn. And yeah, nothing more to say. Fletch, go.
All right. Well, unfortunately, then we got a cutout here, which is very rare for AEW, but we did. Peter Avalon going one-on-one with the returning Luchasaurus. Welcome back, big man. He's been out of action for a little bit, and Luchasaurus wins the match in 24 seconds. Oh my goodness, he put this thing away in no time, man. What up with that? So anyway, next fight of the night, we had Private Party versus Santana and Ortiz, and Private Party wins the match in 13 minutes and 11 seconds. Anthony Florio, it's all yours, bro. This was a pretty decent tag team fight.
Yes, it was. This was a solid 3.5-star match. I could probably say this was the fight of the night, to be honest with you. I mean, very well done match. That finishing sequence, though, that's what put it over the top right there. And, just a very good match, to say the least. And, second biggest win for Private Party. Nothing will ever top when they went over the Bucks in that opening tournament match. So these guys, like I said, they remind me a lot of the Street Profits in WWE, and, they're fun to watch. So well done. So 3.5 stars for me. Fight of the night, no doubt about this. So Bullock, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, after those two crap fests of, first with the segment and then the match, we got something really good here. I do agree. This was the fight of the night. 3.5 stars. I mean, yeah, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. Fletch, let's move on.
Total agreement, 3.5 stars, no doubt about it. Great matchup. I gotta say, this was incredible. This was a very good match, and could have it been better? Yeah, it could have been, but there was one moment where I guess there was a botch, a really nasty mistake, a nasty botch that I know a lot of people were kind of poo-pooing it, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Main event of AEW this time around, Jon Moxley one-on-one with Darby Allin. Moxley wins the match, 10 minutes and 50 seconds. Michael Bullock, pretty good main event.
Are we talking about Jon Moxley and Darby Allin?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. What was the time of the fall?
10 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah, I'll give this about a 3.25, 3.5 for the effort here. I mean, this was a very good match, a very good main event to close out the AEW Dynamite. I enjoyed all the action from these two. Yeah. There's really nothing more that needs to be said. Fletch, it's yours. Definitely a great way to close out AEW.
Solid main event, 3 stars for me. I thought it was a good match, no doubt about it. And it was definitely a very good match to say the very least. They tried it. It wasn't really ultra high hardcore, but they tried to make it a little bit of a violent match, which was good. Um, it this was definitely right up John Moxley's wheelhouse. You gave him Darby Allin. We already know Allin is willing to risk his neck, do some stupid crap in the no doubt about it. This was a solid fight. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio.
The match a little bit overstayed its welcome, and each of the bigger spots they did had meaning because of the pace of things. It had the hardcore aspects you would anticipate from these two. Solid 3 stars for the match. I agree. So let's get to the quick overall review because I'm chomping at the bits for the big show.
All right, easy, folks, easy. We're not there yet, but we do say, it did start out all right. Overall review 6.5 to 7 out of 10. That's my rating. I know I'm probably going to get a little flack for it, but I don't give a damn. I thought it was a good show, solid show. Nothing. So, Anthony.
No, I'm with you, MF. 6.5 to 7. There were some good matches on here. Some things could have been better, but like I said, AEW, you put forth a solid effort tonight, but you were nowhere near the big show tonight. So that's all I can say on that. So 6.5 to 7. But next week, I will say next week does look very appetizing and very promising. Night before Thanksgiving. You're giving us a feast. I'm hungry. Feed me more. Let's go. Bullock, wrap it up.
Yeah, 6.5 to 7 out of 10. I do agree. I mean, it was a good show, but it was nowhere near what we saw tonight on NXT. And yeah, there's really nothing more that needs to be said. I don't think we should waste any more time. Fletch, let's get to what we say was probably one of the craziest and maybe one of the best NXTs we've seen in a long time.
Full Sail University. Triple H warned it. He said he was opening the doors for everything. Opening the doors to let everybody. I told you it was going to be. I told you should have left it locked. Well, NXT started, and the first to walk through is only the biggest name that walked through. Raw Women's Champion, the man, Becky Lynch walked through, and she was itching for a fight. So, we got a fight, all right. It was one-on-one Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley, but the fight gets thrown out as it ended in a no contest because, well, let's just say all hell broke loose after that, as basically there was interference all over the place on this one. It was basically the 4 horsewomen basically hitting the ring. the four horsewomen of MMA hitting the ring, but when it was all said and done, Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley basically made the save. So they both kind of went after Shayna, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir, and basically, the hell with that is what they said. So, interesting matchup, great fight to start the night. Dad Becky Lynch in Full Sail. You saw the crowd; they absolutely lost it. To have a homecoming moment was awesome. Then to give her Rhea Ripley. I mean, we're talking about one of the best NXT UK stars in the world against the man. I mean, we're talking about Rhea Ripley, the inaugural and first ever UK Women's Champion, versus literally Becky Two Belts going at it. That's a WrestleMania level fight, and we had it on NXT tonight. And yes, I know it's an NA because of the overbooked finish, because it's a no contest, but you could easily make an argument to put a rating up of 3 stars for this match. But because of the rules, and this is one that we always do, and guys, just a word of warning, this is PG now, but dude, I could easily call this 3 stars and one of the best fights of the night. One of the best fights of the night. Anthony, it's yours.
And what a better way to start off this edition of NXT than to have the box office draw that is the man, the Raw Women's Champion. Yes, what did I just say? Oh yeah, I just said Raw Women's Champion. That's right. Not NXT. Sure as hell not SmackDown. It's Raw. And why did Becky and Raw start this show? Because everybody knows YouTube cannot shine in the light that is Raw. So, great way to start. Now then, it was not, it is a damn shame that we have to, go with this NA protocol. But there is a time, it's like what one of Triple H's old T-shirts. Screw the rules, play the game. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here. MF, you want 3 stars? I'll give you the 3 stars for this. I will gladly give you the 3 stars for this. This was a be a woman fight, smash mouth, hard hitting, physical match. And hey, I would not be surprised if Rhea Ripley ends up being on that NXT Women's Survivor Series team. I mean, they'd be crazy to leave her off of that. That's all I can say. So, Bullock, you better get her. You better get this badass Aussie on your team, because if you don't, you're in big trouble, baby. So that's all I can say on that. So, and then all the hell breaks loose. Shayna and the Horsewomen, they came out and laid everybody out. But man, what a hot crowd. What a way to start off this show with the real A show, the forever A show, and the A show of the last, 2, 3 Survivor Series now?
Debatable.
Whatever. That's all I can say on that. So, but I will give it 3 stars. I like Rhea Ripley. She's going to be a big star, no question about it. And she's got a very bright future ahead of her, no doubt about it. So I will give her credit for that. So really nothing more to say. So Bullock, what a way to start off your show tonight with the real A show, Raw.
Whatever. And yeah, I mean, Triple H may have opened the doors, but the man Becky Lynch, well, she trespassed on our property. Well, but you know what? I'll give her props. I mean, she's not afraid to back down, and that is what she did. I mean, and she stood up to Rhea Ripley, and boy howdy, we got ourselves a really good match to start. And Fletch and Florio, I know I've said so many times of the NA rule, but you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna be just like Triple H. Screw the rules. I'm giving it 3 stars as well. I could have given it higher, but the ending did take a little bit away. But, I mean, especially with the three of the 4 horsewomen basically getting involved. So yeah, and all I can say is, I mean, I don't know when they're gonna have the announcement of the women of NXT for that traditional Survivor Series triple threat match, but if you're looking for a good leader, Rhea Ripley is that guy, or is that girl, I should say. This was be a woman fight right here that we saw. So 3 stars for me. A damn good way to kick off the real A show, NXT. I don't give a damn what anybody says. Fletch, it's yours.
All right, and then the next thing we had, well, we were gonna have somebody, I guess, make a debut on NXT, as it was Hawaiian Johnny Mundo and the finest Kiona Raves. They were making their way to the ring, but then Ricochet showed up, another Raw guy, and basically Reeves got jumped. One shot. Goodbye. So he was out of the mix. Then Matt Riddle came out, probably saying, yo, what is your deal? And the next thing we know, we had Ricochet for this Matt Riddle one-on-one. Sorry, Florio, you're going to have to take the L on this one, as it was NXT's Matt Riddle getting the victory in 3 minutes and 47 seconds. But wait, hold up. All hell breaks loose after this, because Cesaro comes out. He basically comes out and gets into it with Ricochet. Then, out of nowhere, Shinsuke Nakamura shows up, basically takes down Matt Riddle. Roderick Strong runs out. He goes after. So now you got Strong and Nakamura brawling. Then Balor rolls out, and he's going after Matt Riddle. So all of a sudden, a chaotic scene going on. You got Raw, you got SmackDown, you got NXT, you got NXT versus NXT. Michael Bullock, I mean Anthony Florio. Holy freaking crap! What the hell is going on?
You tell me. You tell me.
I think the key word is madness.
Oh boy.
I think let's just say the inmates were running the asylum.
Oh yeah, I can agree with that.
Nice of your SmackDown guys to finally show up, MF. Wondering where you guys were. But anyways, first things first. Ricochet showing up, that was no coincidence. That was no accident. Kona Reeves, second-rate talent. Get him out of here. We don't do second-rate talent. We do premier talent. And that's exactly what Ricochet did to that Hammernager. So, see ya. So, we got him out of here. And then we got Riddle against Ricochet. Way too short of a match. Incredibly brief. But it was fun for what it was. I will give it 2.5 for the effort. Just imagine if they had given these guys more time. Then it could have been really, really fun. Yes, I'll take the humble pie here and give this one to Bullock here. So, yeah, you may have won that round, but let's just say Raw ends up getting a big moment later in the show. So that's all I can say on that. But 2.5 stars, though, maybe 3 for the effort, even though it was a criminally short match. I wanted to see these guys get at least 10 or 15. Then we could have really had some fun, but more invasion stuff. So, but man, I mean, Ricochet, though, with that dive on the Cesaro. So, man, that was epic. So, Balor showing up. We know Balor and Riddle, they're going to face off Saturday night at War Games. So, man, there's so much to make sense of here, but man, it was so fun. So, 2.5 to 3. Bullock, I'll give it up. Riddle. Riddle is a future star and a future world champion.
And you got that right, bro. Uh, yeah, NXT won this one, and I'm very happy about that one. Uh, 2.5 stars, I do agree. Um, too short for my liking. I mean, I would have loved to see more out of this, but man, this craziness with, I mean, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT going at it, NXT against NXT. I mean, it's it was just freaking crazy. And and by the way, Fletch, that was not the last of a crazy brawl. There was more to come.
Yeah, no doubt
It's
about it. Yeah,
it's yours, Fletch.
no doubt. All right. I didn't know if you were gonna toss it to me or not. Yeah, this was incredible. This was a great about it. Short, like you guys said, but it was, and yeah, the brawl was nice. It was a nice brawl. It was good to very. Then all right, then to the meat and potatoes of the show. So, you know, you guys said it. You were talking about a dream fight and everything else. Well, if you remember, initially, we were going to get Undisputed Era versus War Raiders versus Revival at Survivor Series. But, unfortunately, when the New Day won the SmackDown Tag Team titles, that knocked Revival out, and now they're in the match. Well, Triple H, or John Paul Levesque, whatever you want to call him, he's like, you know what? Let's give you guys the dream fight right now. That's right. NXT World Tag Team Champions, Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish going up against Dawson and Wilder, the Revival. Oh my goodness. It was all said and done. Winners of the bout in 17 minutes and 54 seconds. Undisputed Era wins the match. Michael Bullock, fight of the night. It's yours.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, this was fight of the night, hands down. And oh, by the way, NXT wins again, but this time they prevailed over your guys at SmackDown. But anywho, great match, fight of the night. You know what? I'm gonna give it about 4 to 4.25. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna give it 4.5. This was, I mean, it was just freaking awesome. I mean, how these two teams really put on a show. I mean, we had a lot of Shakespearean drama in this match, but yes, NXT won. But you know what? To me, guys, and I'll say it to you, Fledge. To me, not just the Undisputed Era won, but the Revival, to me, won as well. I mean, they put on a hell of a tag team match tonight. I mean, and these two teams should be commended for this. So 4 and 4.5, fight of the night, Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah,
Or
it could not have written any better. This was a great match. Um, Obviously, I will tip my cap to Michael Bullock and NXT for the victory. Revival. This was their best outing in a long time. Like they look so good in this fight. I think this was a revelation tonight. This just proves why Revival are one of the top tag teams in the world. Um if you give them the opportunity and put competition, WWE, then the Revival is without a doubt one of the best tag teams in the world. No doubt. I'm not even going to argue that. It's just with the way that this fight ended up, obviously NXT was going to get the win. It's their show. But for a match like this and the way the fight went out, I mean, you couldn't do any better than that. 4.5 stars, fight of the night, and probably one of the best damn matches I've seen in a very long time in the tag team division. This easily could be a candidate for tag team fight of the year. Florio, go.
Wow. After the chaotic mess of the first 40 minutes, these two teams predictably put on a great tag team match to make the show about wrestling for a while. It was jarring to see the Revival as the babyfaces, and also disappointing that they lost their tag team championships to rob them of a spot in Survivor Series. Though I understand New Day were not going to be left off the show. Though this match was excellent. It was a heel-heel affair after two face-face encounters to start. And this show, I mean, man alive. I mean, this is when the show kicked into overdrive right here. I'm right there with you guys on the rating. This was the fight of the night. 4.25, 4.5 stars. This might have been a TV, but gentlemen, let's be realistic. MF, takeover worthy? Come on now.
It is. No, absolutely. I agree with that. This would be something you would see on TakeOver. No doubt.
The overall show tonight felt like a takeover, not a TV. Another spoiler. So that's all I can say on that. But man alive, that was amazing. Well done. And Revival went back home, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, they had 5-star classic matches with DIY, that match in Toronto 3 years ago. Of course, we'll never forget those classics they had with American Alpha. And, you know, put them in there with any tag team that's just as good as they are, and you're guaranteed an instant classic. And this was an instant classic here tonight. Well done. 4.25, 4.5 stars. I could not agree more on the ratings. So, fight of the night. This stole the dang show. So, nothing more to say. MF, how do we follow this? I don't know.
Well, we had a women's match as it was Kaylee Ray, the UK women's champion of NXT, going up against Dakota Kai. Kaylee Ray wins the match in 5 minutes and 35 seconds. All right, fine. That's cool. That's great. But all the chaos was in the back. And what happened next was we had an invasion. The SmackDown women showed up. Carmella, Dana Brooke, Fire and Desire, they ran out. They started jumping, going after everybody. Kairi Sane hit Tegan Nox with the insane elbow. I mean, this turned out total chaos. And then while the brawl started and got going, the brawl ended when Nikki Cross hit the ring with a trash can lid and basically went to town on everybody. You don't think it wasn't going to be a brawl? You think 1 second SmackDown was going to sit on the sidelines and wasn't going to get something in this? Look at what our newest member just did. Cleared the ring. You want to deal with that? Be my guest. That's my crazy little lady. And you know, I dig crazy chicks. She's the craziest of them all. She comes to play on Sunday night. Do you guys want to talk about this, or do you guys just want to move on? It's your call.
You know what? I'm actually gonna take this for a spin for a moment.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm actually gonna give this 3 stars, MF. I mean, that match was as good as it gets inside 6 minutes. Good story, good action, and you got to feel bad for Dakota Kai. She really should be in the War Games match, if I'm going to be quite honest with you.
Agreed.
I only wish they could make it a 5-on-5 instead of a 4-on-4. But I guess rules are rules nowadays. Whatever. But just my opinion. But the brawl was fun, and I'll tell you what. Unless I missed it somewhere in a Mae Young Classic or something, I think this was my first time ever seeing Kaylee Ray wrestle. Now, MF, I know you've seen numerous matches of hers, and
oh yes,
and you told us last week you dropped that 96, 97 JR knowledge on us, which I thought was awesome about Kylie Ray and her accomplishments and all that. But you know me, I always say this: I don't impress easy. But from what I saw out of that beautiful Scotswoman tonight, I was very impressed. That's all I can say on that. And I hope I get a chance and an opportunity to see more of her in action, but I won't have to wait long because Saturday night, we'll see her in that women's War Games match, and we'll see how she does on the big stage. But, I've always been high on Kai. I've seen her in the Mae Young Classic. She put on her solid effort, but Kaylee Ray, man, wow, she's everything that MF said she was. She is. That's all I can say on that. So that's my 2 cents on it. So, Bullock, if you want to jump in, feel free.
I'll take it for a spin as well. I mean, yeah, Kaylee Ray showed you why she's a badass in that ring, and why she is the NXT UK Women's Champion, because of some of the things we saw during that match. I mean, I'll even give it 3 stars as well. I mean, yeah, it was short, but in that short amount of time, it told a good story, and yeah, I mean, and I'll tell you what, Fletch and Florio, Dakota Kai may not be part of that women's War Games, but I'll tell you what she will be a part of. I think she's going to be part of that Team NXT women's team at Survivor Series.
I agree with that.
She deserves to be on the team. I think so.
I think so too. I mean, it doesn't get any better than being part of that team at Survivor Series. So she may not be a part of that women's War Games, but she's going to be part of Survivor Series, no doubt about it in my mind. So that's all I got to say. Let's move on.
All right, and the next fight we had was, yes, the Viking Raiders, the Raw Tag Team Champions. They went up against the Forgotten Sons, Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, with Jason Riker in their corner. Unfortunately, Michael Bullock, it is not the way of NXT on this one. Raw gets the victory as the Viking Raiders wins the match in 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Yes, I heard the Florio victory laugh, as he was definitely very content with that victory. Who leads off on this?
I think it's actually Florio who leads off.
All right, fitting. Anthony, it is yours.
It's only fitting, and I claim victory. Yes, sir. And gentlemen, with all due respect, and I use that very loosely, that is just an example of what your precious Undisputed Era and your precious New Day are gonna feel. You want to talk about feeling the power? Well, they're gonna feel the power, all right. The power of the Viking Raiders when they squash both of your teams this Sunday night and give the A show the win. But this was a 3-star another 3-star match. I mean, a chaotic mess with a few nice spots peppered in. For some, it probably went too long given their relative spots on the card, but it allowed the Raiders to hit a lot of crowd-pleasing spots, leading into their triple threat match at Survivor Series. They had to win this match. I mean, yes, it was Raw winning at NXT. I get it, but they have to give we needed the momentum. We need the momentum, and if we're going to be taken seriously against the New Day and Fish and O'Reilly, they need all the momentum they can get, and they got that momentum here tonight. And I'll tell you what, I thought it was going to be a squash match. To be honest with you, I thought they were going to squash them, but I'll give the Forgotten Sons credit. You know, they put up a good fight. I'll tell you that. And Jackson Riker, formerly Gunner from TNA. MF and I know who that is. Bullock, not much, because Bullock's not much of a TNA Impact fan, but he was Gunner in Impact Wrestling, and you know, one of their most underrated talents. A young man who really could have gone far, if I'm going to be honest with you, but they didn't really do anything with him. But you know, it is what it is. But I knew that was him. I knew it. But anyways, great matchup here. I'm very pleased with the victory. Yes, MF, you heard my Jesse the Body Ventura laugh on that one. So 3 stars for the match. And Bullock, all I can say is for you and MF, that's just a little preview of what you're going to see come Sunday night.
Whatever. In the immortal words of The Rock, Florio, your Viking Raiders, bring it. But yeah, I mean, but let's not forget a little thing they mentioned. I mean, they had a little something going on over in NXT when the Viking Raiders were still a part of NXT, so there was some unsettled scores here. So yeah, the Viking Raiders settled it, and what I think was definitely a 3-star match as well. So there's really nothing more that needs to be said. Fletch, it's yours.
MF, are you there?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, no doubt about it. That was definitely 3 stars, no doubt about it. So, look, War Raiders, Viking Raiders, whatever you want to call them, they earned the victory on this one. They got the big win, and yeah, they got a lot of momentum going into Survivor Series, and that's what you want. But Feuded Era also won the night too, so they got momentum going into Survivor Series. Viking Raiders got momentum in the Survivor Series. They gonna do on Friday night, and they get momentum heading into the fight. You know, I go in and see what happens in a situation, but then the main event was the ladder match for the advantage in the War Games. Donovan Dijakovic versus Adam Cole. Adam Cole wins the match in 10 minutes and 28 seconds, but before he even gets a chance to celebrate, there was a whole bunch of Raw and SmackDown guys at the ringside area. First off, Drew McIntyre decapitates Donovan Dijakovic with a Claymore kick. I mean, decapitates him. Then Keith Lee with the Spirit Bomb.
Whatever.
Ivar and Lee then decided to start. They pile up doing tope con helos. All right, fine. Adam Cole stands tall. You're thinking everything's all good.
Nope.
Until Seth Rollins rolls out.
Burn it down.
He was about to burn it down. Goes for a super kick. Then try to go for the curb stomp. Tommaso Ciampa hits the ring. Basically walks over the prone bodies to confront Rollins about it. Hits Adam Cole with a cheap knee shot because he's facing him on Saturday. On Saturday. And then it ends with Ciampa and Rollins brawling at the end of the show. Wow. Well, so, all right. We got a lot to dissect here. Adam Cole wins the match, which means the Undisputed Era team will now have the man advantage at War Games. But there's also one other factor that was announced, and this is very important. Adam Cole is going one-on-one, or no, but because of the fact that they're facing off at at the thing. Here's the other kicker. On Saturday at TakeOver, there's a match. Killian Dane, Pete Dunne, and Damian Priest. A triple threat match. The winner of that match will face Adam Cole at Survivor Series for the NXT title. You heard me right. For the first time ever, the NXT Championship will be defended at Survivor Series. My God. Michael Bullock, you lead off on all the chaos that ensued.
I don't know where to start with all this, but as far as the match goes, I mean, I'll give it about 3 to 3.5. I mean, this was definitely a very good match here between both of these guys. I mean, but yeah, I mean, Dijakovic basically took a sick fall right onto the ladder, and that's what eventually led to Adam Cole getting the victory. And then you had all this chaos, and Drew McIntyre with a cheap shot on Dijakovic with the Claymore, but Keith Lee gets the best of your Scottish psychopath, Anthony Florio. If you want to call it cheap shot, fine, whatever. I don't care. But your freaking Beast Slayer decides to cheap shot Adam Cole after. Oh my gosh, I cannot. But Tommaso Ciampa comes and basically tries to take out your Beast Slayer at the end of the show. So, oh yeah, Florio, it is on, brother. It is on. So, and all I can say is, can't wait for the Survivor Series with the NXT title on the line for the first time ever at a WWE pay-per-view event. I don't know who's going to come out the victor on that one, so there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, you talk about all this craziness.
This was an incredible main event. I mean, this is a great way to close it. So much talk about NXT. And the thing was, yes, NXT is a great, they had a great show, and it's going to be put up a shut up for NXT. Yes, Triple H laid down the gauntlet, but the thing is that with Raw, with SmackDown, NXT, you're coming into a fight that is definitely going to be very interesting to see. Is NXT going to get, or can they win the war? That's going to be a big question that will be asked. A lot of the experts, I hate to say this, is saying no, that NXT will not be victorious when it's all said and done. And as a matter of fact, some of the smart money actually has SmackDown winning it because of that they're on network television, and a lot of people feel that SmackDown will probably get a bigger rub than Raw and NXT. Obviously, I think that's a disagreement. I think each one is going to get a victory somewhere in this war. It's not going to be a wipeout. It's not going to be like last year, how Raw basically, because of the fact that McMahon and the guy and the suits wanted Raw to wipe out SmackDown. We're not going to get that this year. Or I hope we don't get that this year.
Oh, yeah, you are.
So what we're going to get is going to be an interesting battle because obviously you're going to get NXT's going to get a victory or two. There's already maybe one or two fights where they could get. I'm going to openly admit that. SmackDown's going to get a victory somewhere along the way because of the fact that I think they're going to get it somewhere. And of course, Raw's going to get theirs. We obviously are going to know that Raw's probably going to get a victory somewhere along the way. Where is the fight's going to be? We don't know. There's 5 altogether. So that means, could there be a 2-2-1? Or maybe somebody gets more than a victory? We don't know. But all we know is that it's the biggest crapshoot when it comes to these shows. We don't know how it plays out, but we'll wait and see how it turns on Sunday night. But one thing's for sure, we got to worry about War Games first. And Mike Bullock, you better hope some of your boys do not get hurt at NXT TakeOver because you can't afford any injuries going into Survivor Series. Just like SmackDown. SmackDown's got a show on Friday, so we got to hope that nobody gets hurt on that show to be ready for Survivor Series. Raw's got nothing to worry about. They're all set. They just got to stay away from a big injury, but Raw's going to be in good shape. SmackDown's in the line of fire right now, and we got to be prepared to be okay for Sunday. And then of course, NXT is going to be right smack dab in the middle. The night before, they got a show, then they got to fight at Survivor Series. You got to worry about Friday, about Saturday, and not having any of your guys getting hurt. Especially War Games. War Games is one of the most dangerous matches in all of wrestling. Something bad can go wrong in War Games. So we'll wait and see. Nothing more to say. Anthony, this was a 3.5-star fight, and this was a great way to close the show, so it's yours.
Absolutely. 3.5 stars. You nailed it, MF. This ladder match was a refreshingly rare ladder match without outside interference, made all the more rare by the fact that outside interference was to be expected in this one. But had some nice spots and a memorable one to finish. Dijakovic, when he choke slammed calling that ladder, which made Mauro Ranallo lose his mind and go Mamma Mia and all that, which I love more than anything else. But yeah, I'll be honest, it was not as exciting as the one we had last week with Mia Yim and Io Shirai. That was an instant classic. This one just as good, but 3.5. I agree with MF's rating and a great way to close out. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, maybe the greatest NXT TV of all time. No ifs, ands, or buts about this. So they wiped the floor with AEW here tonight. No doubts about that. So 3.5 stars. So, but the outcome was predictable though. Outcome was predictable because how many times have we seen this in War Games where the heel team, all the time, the heel team always gets the advantage? We saw it with the women, and now we have it here with the men. Predictable. That's my only nitpick. But other than that, it was a fun match, though. So nothing more to say. Bullock, wrap it up, and then we put the bow on this. Bullock. I'm starting to think maybe the excitement wore him out so much.
Yeah, it looks like it. All right.
I thought I led off on it.
No, you actually led off on it, Bullock. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So overall review time, there's no doubt about it. 8.5 to 9 out of 10. There's really nothing more to add. Florio, go.
I'm actually going to go higher, MF. I'm actually going to give this 9 to 9.5. I mean, this was the best NXT TV that I think I've ever seen and we've all ever seen. I mean, Revival and Fish and O'Reilly, they stole the dang show. All the matches were solid to good to great, and and all the invasions and whatnot. I had very high expectations going into this show tonight. I was very excited about this show tonight, and boy, howdy, did it deliver in spades. So NXT, applaud yourselves, because that was one hell of a show. But I got a feeling next week, that this could be where AEW takes it back, because they got a loaded show next Wednesday night. So I'm just saying. So we'll see. So everything delivered. There was nothing remotely bad about this show here tonight. So nothing more to say. This was 9 to 9.5. Greatest NXT TV of all time. Bullock, take a bow, my friend. This thing, wow.
Oh, I'm definitely taking a bow on this one here. They should definitely applaud themselves for what they did here. 9 to 9.5. I totally agree. I mean, there's really nothing more that really needs to be said. Fletch, I say we just wrap it up.
All right, so here's how the lineup is gonna go, guys, because we got a lot to talk about. Number one, starting. Obviously tomorrow is College Football Thursday. We got Cerebral Smack Talk on Friday. Saturday's NFL. Sunday, we actually are gonna do the Survivor Series recap. Monday, Ridiculously Raw. Tuesday, I'm actually adding is the College Football Feast. The Football Feast is now next Tuesday night at 10:30 Eastern, hosted by Anthony Florio. We're going to cover the 3 Thanksgiving games and the college football. The reason why I'm doing that is because Wednesday is Wednesday Night Mayhem. Then, because of Thanksgiving, I am canceling Cerebral Smack Talk on Friday, and I'm giving you guys 4 days off. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're not going to be working. We're off. Enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday, and we'll do again on Monday with the Ridiculously Raw. You got all that, folks? So get ready. Be prepared. We're going to have a lot to talk about in the next week or so. So a whole week's worth of recordings and work. But once we get past Wednesday, we're done. We'll lock ourselves up. We go underground. We celebrate with our families. And you guys will not see us again until the next Monday. So with that said, thank you, Anthony Florio. Thank you, Michael Bullock. Tomorrow night is College Football Thursday on Anthony's channel on the Tone 25 at 10:30 Eastern. And with that said, have a good night, everybody. Hugs and hand pounds. We are out. So long for now.